On this channel I talk a lot about emotions, stress and how they physically affect the body. Yet I know a lot of people will find it hard to understand the connection without knowing the science behind it. So let's take a deep dive into one of the most overlooked causes of chronic illness, which is how the brain processes unresolved emotional stress. Most people think stress is simply feeling overwhelmed, but biologically, stress is far more complex. The brain does not distinguish between physical danger and emotional danger. To the nervous system, rejection can register similarly to physical threat. Suppressed anger can activate the same stress circuits as being chased. Financial fear can trigger the same survival response as starvation. Chronic shame can signal danger to the body just as strongly as an external threat. When the brain perceives danger, whether real or emotional, it activates the autonomic nervous system, specifically the sympathetic fight or flight response. This floods the body with stress hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. These chemicals are designed for short-term survival. But when they are activated chronically, they begin to alter nearly every system in the body. This is where the concept of Tension Myositis Syndrome, TMS, becomes profoundly important. What is Tension Myositis Syndrome? John E. Sarno, a rehabilitation physician, introduced the concept of Tension Myositis Syndrome in his research. He proposed that many chronic, physical symptoms are generated by the brain as a response to unresolved emotional conflict. According to his theory, when the mind suppresses difficult emotions such as rage, grief, shame, fear, guilt, helplessness or rejection, the brain redirects this emotional tension into the body through physiological mechanisms. This is not imaginary pain. It is real, measurable, true biological dysfunction. The brain changes blood flow, muscle tension, nerve sensitivity, inflammatory signaling, and autonomic regulation. Modern neuroscience now supports many of these findings through research on central sensitization, neuroplastic pain pathways, psychoneuroimmunology, stress-mediated inflammation and vagal dysfunction. In short, it proves that the body expresses what the mind suppresses. So how do negative emotions become physical symptoms? When difficult emotions are repeatedly avoided or repressed, the brain perceives them as an unresolved threat. To protect itself, it creates physiological distraction through bodily symptoms. Because the brain's job is to protect you. This occurs through several pathways. 1. Muscle constriction and reduced oxygen flow. Chronic emotional tension creates unconscious muscular contraction. This can reduce oxygen delivery to bodily tissues. The result? That neck tension or back pain that massage never fixes. Jaw clenching. Unexplainable headaches. Digestive tightness or pelvic tension. Over time, these patterns become automatic. The body simply forgets how to relax or rather becomes programmed to hold these states. 2. Nervous system hypervigilance. The brain becomes conditioned to scan constantly for danger. This state is called hypervigilance. Where the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for responding to emotionally important stimuli, especially fear, threat, and reward, remains overactive. The nervous system becomes hypersensitive. This can lead to gut hypersensitivity, IBS, histamine intolerance, chronic fatigue, heart palpitations, dizziness and insomnia. The body becomes stuck in surveillance mode, which is part of survival mode rather than repair mode. 3. Immune system dysregulation. Negative emotional stress activates inflammatory pathways. Studies show chronic stress increases IL-6, TNF-alpha, C-reactive protein. These inflammatory markers contribute to autoimmune dysfunction, gut permeability, skin disorders, hormonal imbalance and metabolic dysfunction. The body begins attacking itself while it is actually trying to defend itself. 4. Digestive shutdown. When the brain perceives danger, digestion is not a priority. Blood flow is redirected away from the gut. Stomach acid decreases. Enzyme production drops and in turn, motility slows. This creates ideal conditions for candida overgrowth, bacterial dysbiosis, constipation, bloating and malabsorption. This is why unresolved emotional stress is often deeply tied to gut illness. Emotional energy stored in the body. Trauma researchers like Bessel van der Kolk describe how the body keeps the score. When emotions are not fully processed, they do not simply disappear. They remain encoded in the body's muscular tension patterns, fascial restriction, breathing dysfunction, and autonomic nervous system programming. This is what people often describe as stored trauma. For include, a child that is repeatedly criticized, learns to tighten their diaphragm and brace their core. An adult trapped in a toxic relationship may unconsciously hold chronic shoulder and back tension. Someone living with shame may collapse their posture and restrict their breath. These physical adaptations then become long-term biological states. What happens long-term? If this stress signaling continues for years, the body begins adapting to dysfunction as its new normal. This creates allostatic load, the cumulative wear and tear from chronic stress. Long-term consequences include adrenal dysregulation. The stress response becomes exhausted, leading to burnout, fatigue, poor stress tolerance, and energy crashes. Chronic inflammation, which is simply persistent inflammatory signaling, accelerates, causing cellular aging, tissue degeneration, pain syndromes, and immune dysfunction. Hormone imbalances due to chronic cortisol disrupt thyroid conversion, progesterone, testosterone, and insulin regulation, which contribute to weight gain, blood sugar instability or insulin resistance, and reproductive dysfunction. These symptoms alter the brain's wiring, strengthening neural pathways associated with fear, pain, doubt, and threat detection. Over time, the brain literally becomes better at producing illness responses, negative states, and for some it makes it impossible for them to make decisions or take action. This is neuroplastic conditioning. The body learns illness as a pattern. This leads to identity-level illness. Eventually, symptoms become part of self-concept. You hear people making statements like, "I'm just an anxious person. I can't seem to shake this illness. I'll always struggle. Healing isn't for people like me," reinforcing the loop. The mind predicts illness, to which the body obeys. So why does this matters for healing? Simple: you cannot fully heal a body when the mind still believes it is unsafe. Supplements can help. Protocols can help. Diet changes can help. But if the brain remains locked in fear, guilt, shame, hypervigilance, and suppressed emotional conflict, the body will continually divert resources toward protection rather than repair. Meaning that whatever you do to heal will always be temporary. Healing requires teaching the nervous system that the danger has passed. This means addressing emotional repression, trauma loops, subconscious beliefs, stored shame, chronic self-criticism, and unresolved grief. Because when the brain no longer perceives threat, it shifts from survival mode into repair mode. And only in repair mode can true healing begin. If you found this information helpful, please share with someone else who may benefit. Subscribe and turn on notifications to be alerted for our next video release. Comment healing below if this video has changed how you see stored emotions. Also check out the links below to learn more about how you can release stored emotions and start to heal.